Welcome everybody to today's SEJ webinar. We are here today to talk about 2025 marketing trends. I can't believe we're in the middle of February, but here we are. So with me, I have Ehab. He is the Senior Value Engineer at Uberall, and Chris is the Global Head of Product Marketing at Uberall. It is your first webinar with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. We're really excited.
Super excited to be here, everyone.
Awesome. So while I go through housekeeping, if you all can let us know, use the chat, let us know where are you calling in from today. I am based out of West Virginia for those of you who have not joined us for an SEJ webinar. And I am Heather. I am the VP of Sales and Marketing here at SEJ. So let's run through some housekeeping and get you to the content that you came here for. So if you need closed captioning, it is the CC in the top right of your screen. Just give that a click. We are going to do Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you have questions for this team, please put them in the Q&A tab. If you see a question that you like, you'll notice there's a little thumbs up button. We don't have any thumbs down button, but that's okay. If you see something you like, give it a little thumbs up, and that'll tell us it's important, and we'll do our best to front load those at that time. Before you leave today's call, we do have a short survey. If you can stick around for that, it lets us know how today's webinar was, how we can make them more useful for you in the future. And lastly, you'll receive today's recording and the slides in your inbox later this afternoon, this evening, or in the morning, depending on where you're coming in from. But you will receive that today. We have some handouts. We're going to do some polls. This is going to be pretty interactive. So I love seeing this. We've got people from India, Chicago, I see Nashville. If I've got any mountaineers out there, let's hear it. But I can't even get through all of these. Guys, you got to, this is a big group. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. I see Cindy is from Northern Virginia. Close enough, Cindy. So with that, Ehab, Chris, they are all yours.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Heather.
much.
Thanks, Heather, so much. Hi, everybody. I am Chris Stone. I'm based in Toronto, Canada. I saw some Canadians there, so it's good to see some fellows. I have about 25 centimeters of snow on the ground here, but very warm inside. Super excited to be here. I am the global head of product marketing for Uberall. I help customers around the globe to be successful and have a strong digital presence. And I'm here today to share this best practice with you. Ehab, your turn.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm Ehab Abood. I'm a principal solution engineer here at Uber. My role has recently changed. I'm based in the north of England, right slap bang between Manchester and Leeds, for those of you who know it. It's not as cold as where you are in Toronto, Chris, but I'm still wearing a jumper or a sweater. I've been at Uber for about 5 years, and in the last couple of years, I myself have been focusing quite a lot with regards to AI and how to utilize AI and best equip our customers to overcome some of the challenges and what is seemingly a minefield at the moment with both SEO and GEO, and hopefully we'll go through that today. So I'm really, really excited to be here today.
Thanks, Ehab. Doesn't he have a lovely British accent, everybody? So good to hear. All right, so we're going to move on very quickly just to do a quick introduction about Uberall, as I'm not sure how many of you are aware of our brand and know who we are. So Uberall, we have been in the search industry, in the search landscape for about 14 years. So we have seen a lot of change in this, in the industry. We are going through another big change now with how AI is impacting the industry. We are an AI-powered location marketing platform that helps business to optimize their digital presence. If you see this nice image on the right side, you can see that there is a pin, and that's how we structure our products. So we have listings, reviews, social, locator, all in the form of a pin. And if you can see, there is a map there. And that's our goal. We want to put business on the digital map. So this is who we are. And then I want to share quickly the impact on our customers. So you can see that we're fortunate to work with global brands. So from Barcello in Spain, Pret a Manger in UK that is expanding US, Crate and Barrel, Sephora, so many brands. And you can see the impact that they're having, the incremental in Google views, in map views, in responding to reviews, and most importantly, strong impacting revenue, ROI, incremental in revenue. So we're going to talk a lot about that today, like how you get this success. What are the best practices? Just before we get into our topic, we're going to go into I'm going to share with you exactly what we are covering, actually. So we're going to go through a lot of landscape change. So that's what Ihab is going to walk us through. So is search broken? What's happening with the AI landscape? And we're going to dive into AI overview and search GPT. And then I'll be back with you guys. I'll be sharing those best practices from some customers. And then we're going to go into key takeaways. Just before I pass to Ihab, we want to pause here just to ask you a question, warm up, make sure that you guys are alive with us. So this is our poll question. Heather, are you there? Yeah.
I am here. And yep, that should pop out for most of you. But how confident are you in adapting your local search strategy to AI?
It'd be embarrassing if Chris and I said that we're not confident at all, wouldn't it?
That would be bad, yeah. But what are people saying? So we got about 50% saying they're somewhat confident, 23% saying not very confident. We have almost 20% of people saying they're not confident at all. So it's a good thing you guys are here and confident. So we'll let that run for another 15 seconds or so. But it looks like that's where we're shaking out, seeming to be pretty steady there. All right.
All right.
With that, I'll close that poll. All yours.
Thanks, Heather. Okay, guys, now we're going to start the meat of this deck, the content. I'm passing over to Ihab.
Thank you so much, Chris. I personally selected this slide because this person is upside down and things should feel a little bit upside down in search. So I'm really quite happy with this. Just my weird humor, maybe I need to get out a bit more. But search is certainly evolving with the emergence of AI. But since SEO has begun, we've seen people scared that it's at the end of SEO. As most people know, it's something that has continually changed and undergone many a rebirth over the last couple of decades. So let's explore why AI overviews and GEO are shaping the future. And with that in mind, I want to first look at some examples of the search intent today. On the left, you have examples of products appearing nearby on a general search on the East Coast of the US for jewelry, which is, if you see the nuances, if it's slightly a new one, credit to Mike Blumenthal for handing over that gift for me. And on the right, you have a post from LinkedIn by the amazing Claudia Tamina, demonstrating something new, which is that when you search for a chicken bowl near you, usually at restaurants. However, this is now showing you where you can buy a chicken bowl from a supermarket as well. So it's slightly adapting, slightly growing, and trying to accommodate for the customer journey. But I still see that some search appears broken, and here's why. So this specifically is an example of a search for an air purifier, specifically a budget air purifier. Some of you may need to zoom into your screen, so forgive me. There is a lot going on, but there's a specific reason why. First of all, I've got a few questions. How many instances of Google Shopping are we seeing? It's the one on the left-hand side in all the pink. I think there's 5 or 6. How many online shops are there? There's some useful information in there, but you have to wade through all of that mess to get to it. For me, I feel like it's a little bit like a garage or attic that you've been accumulating things and hoarding for a couple of decades. Then you go on that dream holiday, you need to go get that beautiful suitcase right in the middle of it. It's really quite difficult. But what's the impact? It wastes time. It overwhelms the user as well. And because of that, it risks the customer journey dropping off, which is obviously a major red flag. And then because if this happens a few times, there is a longer term mistrust in the Google search model. And if you do go on social media, you will see a lot of evidence of this. I think I actually picked this up from someone on social media. Forgive me, I don't remember who, so I cannot give it credit, but whoever it was, thank you very much, dearly. So now let's take a deeper look at the new competition, AI in search. And first things first, there are clearly a lot of terms and a lot of new information to cover. It's overwhelming, Sheldon is losing it, and sometimes so am I. So let's see if we can help give some context, especially for some of those who said they're not particularly confident at all. So here are some key developments across a timeline of AI search tools in their current form. I want to quickly highlight Perplexity on the very top left. It was the first tool that was launched a couple of months before OpenAI's ChatGPT that everyone knows so well. It's backed by prominent investors like Jeff Bezos. It also was the first to sort of claim to providing more human results. There are tens of millions of active monthly users, and I think it's going to grow, but I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But one thing I like, and Perplexity personally is a favorite of mine, because it actually cites sources whenever I'm looking for something that's, let's say, pertinent to my home or my health or something important. Obviously, I seek a healthcare provider, but of course, I need to get a bit of advice first. However, since publishing this slide, we have had so much change lately, and that's probably what's contributing to all of the fear and the change that everyone's feeling, the overwhelm. So since then, you can see DeepSeek is here. You can see Apple Intelligence. This is all in 2025. After DeepSeek's R1 model was released, another model was released out of China called Qwen 2.5 Max. Lovely name, from the makers of Alibaba and AliExpress, for those who know who know what that is. But then in France, I think about a week ago, just a few days ago, Mistral AI, which claims it's much faster than ChatGPT. I've tried it today. I asked for the meaning of life, and it gave it to me in half a second, which is incredible. Some people spend decades looking to the meaning of life. But my personal favorite is a pre-trained French language model called Camembert. And for some of those who know a little bit more of BERT, B-E-R-T, in capital, Camembert has a B-E-R-T at the end. So I chuckle. Again, I probably need to leave the house a little bit more. A quick side one, just a personal opinion. The winners in this space, I actually think, are not even on this screen, apart from one of them. Again, I mentioned my personal favorite, Perplexity. I believe it's going to be them and the likes of U.com. I don't know who owns U.com, but those are the ones who are, they're actually basically aggregating a bunch of models. So you can choose Gemini 2.0, you can choose ChatGPT. There's been a lot of controversy about DeepSeek. How about you use DeepSeek in US servers so you can see the results from the US as opposed to from within China? I think that's going to change things quite a lot. And that's going to be super, super useful for everyone. If you remember, maybe about a decade ago, maybe more than a decade ago, Instagram was winning quite heavily. This was before Meta purchased them. And it was because they were allowing users to post a photo, and this is before videos, to Twitter, to Facebook, to Tumblr, to Flickr, if anyone remembers those two. So they were bringing in everyone who can save time, kind of a little bit like the way Uber does things with our own work. So the way Perplexity and U.com are operating right now tells me that they're probably going to be the winners here, because they're going to allow me to use a different model based on the action that I have, whether it's coding, whether it's about my personal life, whether it's about history and philosophy or whatever it might be. So those are the ones that I would personally look out for. But now let's take a quick step back and look at SEO versus GEO. Now, we mentioned GEO a couple of times, so let's just get it out in the open. GEO stands for Generative Engine Optimization. So now let's clear that out of the way. Let's talk a little bit more about SEO versus GEO. So remember, search engines are based on the search engine results page. People refer to that as SERP, which is a list of links ranked by importance. And there are two ways to influence this ranking. You've got ads, by buying your place to the top, or SEO, that we mostly know and love. And that helps, with optimizing websites to rank to the top of a general query. Now, how does AI change the game? With GEO, the user asks a question and is no longer getting a list of pages to visit, but receives immediately a fully edited written answer. So companies, specifically SEO managers, no longer try to optimize to place their website on top of the list, but rather influence the content of the answer directly. On the left screen, you can see that for SEO, it's a list of links that is generated, the stuff that we know. While on the GEO screen on the right, you have a full text with bullet points, as well as an image section related to it on the right-hand side as well. It's a very different user experience between both. SEO might sometimes be faster for now to load, but the search journey might be faster using GEO, and that's something to keep in mind. Still though, both help to answer the user's search terms and have therefore the same objective, so just worth keeping in mind. And now I want to focus specifically on the AI overviews element and dig a little bit deeper into that. So first up, Google AI overviews. AI overviews are featured in about 10% of searches. This is, category specific, region specific as well. So that is a fluctuating figure. I think it's quite higher in certain places. You can see in this particular GIF here, there are actually 3 tabs, which is something that's quite new that isn't available in all regions. I'm not sure when this is planned for Europe yet. I don't think it's in Europe, but things are changing so much over the last few weeks, at least from what I can tell. But most likely, this is the kind of thing that we'll see globally in 2025 sometime. But again, I don't have the answers, excuse me. And so potentially, maybe by the end of this webinar, it's all rolled out. You never know. And if it is, then I should probably buy a lottery ticket today. So here's an example of what you can see on mobile. On the left-hand side and the middle, in sort of the light brown, because I love dark mode, you've got the generative AI model of a search being fed by Google Business Profile, which is what we specialize on. And there's going to be a little bit more on that later when Chris speaks as well. And then on the right-hand side is the typical map pack or 3-pack that you see in mobile. For those of you who don't know what that is, if you do a search that is location-based, you usually get a map pack or 3-pack. And here, there's another way AI overviews are impacting search, and that's through video. Our attention spans are shorter these days. We want a shortcut, not just in scrolling through TikTok, but we also want an easy way to search. I sometimes truly hate typing just when I'm searching for something. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm exhausted at the end of the day. But here you can see the make and model of the turntable. You can see the problem. You can see the solution as well, or the potential list of solutions, all from recording an audio and video to ask for a solution to this problem, which I think is quite novel. And then here you see that it's also carrying out planning for you, such as meal prep for specific diets. I am very often training for half marathons. I went for an exhausting run earlier today. And whenever my training load increases, and for those who don't know what that means, it's the amount of kilometers or miles I'm running every week. When that starts to increase, I need to make sure I've got the right nutrients, the right amount of calories jumping with that. So if I'm giving it all of my stats, giving it the stats that I've got for my Garmin as well, and I'm telling the AI, just create me some recipes, I'll go and buy all of the ingredients, but just create them for me for the next 4 weeks, for the next month, because I don't really want to think about it. And then it will just basically create it for me, which I think is really, really quite incredible. And then we have Search GPT, which seems to prioritize more recent content. So, for example, a recent football game, if that's relevant to your search. And Search GPT seems to be better on, for example, ideas for Christmas gifts, which I can't believe is 6 or 7 weeks ago. In this example, I'm looking for the best sneaker store in Los Angeles, and you can see that map experience matches what we see on Google. However, it does feed it in a different way, and it's slightly less overwhelming than the original search diagram I showed you a few slides ago. With that in mind, I do want to demonstrate some key highlights of the differences between GEO and SEO to summarize. As you can see here, keywords really are a pillar of SEO. I could search for a dog-friendly cafe near me. Why is that relevant? I was just on vacation in the North Wales coast and looking for exactly this with my dog and my wife. I've never really searched what I really want though, and that's because I'm looking specifically for keywords. I'm getting rid of all the humanity or the human grammar in between that. So usually sometimes I'll probably type something like, I'm looking for a dog-friendly cafe that does oat milk as I'm lactose intolerant, and I don't want to go further than 20 minutes drive. If I wasn't asking GEO and I was asking if I was doing, dog-friendly cafe near me, I'd have to do a lot of work after. I'd have to sift through the reviews to make sure that it's dog-friendly or that it's, does oat milk or something like that. This kind of solves that problem for me. So GEO is made for more thematic and contextual queries, and I hope that makes sense there. And with that, I want to hand over to Chris for the location marketing non-negotiables.
Thanks so much, Ihab. What a change we are seeing. Thanks for unpacking all of that for us. Massive impact of AI on search. No wonder why so many businesses are not super confident. But I have to say, from a consumer point of view, if we put our consumer hat on, aren't we loving AI search? Aren't we loving the conversational search and the ability to ask a question and have a summary for us, as you said, Ihab, with contextual content, with personalized content, tailored content, instead of us as consumers spending so much time on links and websites and trying to find exactly what we want. Tell me in the comments, like, are you as excited and enjoying this as I am? Because from a consumer point of view, it is so good. But I can totally relate and understand that for business is quite daunting. And this is what we're going to share with you today, some best practice on not only how to survive this change, but how to thrive on this change. Just before that, I think we have a poll question, another one that we want to hear from you. What's your biggest location marketing challenge? Heather, you there? Yeah.
And this one's specifically about locations, isn't it? Sorry, go ahead, Heather.
No, sorry, I interrupted you, Ahab. Yes, so that should pop up for most people. If it doesn't, you can find it under the polls tab, and we'll get those start coming in. Let's see. What is your biggest marketing challenge out of the following? Increasing brand visibility, managing online. Here we go. All right. So it looks like the majority of people, it's split between increasing brand visibility, reaching the right local audience, and keeping up with the latest tech and trends.
Perfect. Yep. That's exactly what we are going to cover this topic. So I'm excited to see brand visibility, reaching the right local audience. So good. That's so appropriate to our content.
Sorry, there we go. We got that down. All right. I'm going to close that poll. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Heather. Okay, guys, so going into best practices, I saw some of your comments. As consumers, we may be enjoying, but as business, it can be quite challenging. So I'm going to share some best practices. And the first one is we are calling take care of the fundamentals. If you're a location business, a multi-location business, there are 4 things that you should be doing to maximize your digital presence. I want to start with visibility, which is actually one of the answers in the poll that you guys want to hear about. So let's go into visibility first. So from a visibility perspective, strengthen your digital presence with visibility. What does that mean? It means that having your Google business profile, any search profile with just your name, address, and phone number is no longer the minimum that you can do. It's no longer the basics. The basics now, the bar is now higher. You need to have a very engaging listings profile. You need to add photos. You need to have video. You need to have local content. So if you see the images that we have, the screenshots we have here from Preta Manger, which is from UK, but really growing in North America as well. You can see it's small, but you can see the first one is their Google business profile. They add a ton of images and videos about their food, about their niche, about their menu, about what they can offer. The reviews that they encourage customers to leave a review for them is full of details about the experience their customers go through in the specific locations. And the other image that there is an animation, it's an image of a store locator and a local pages. You can see how much content they add for each location. So if you're looking for a specific location, let's say in New York or in the center of London, and you find a location, it will give you all this content that you have there that the other location might not have, right? So how much you need to localize these days. This is the level of personalization, content, snippets that Ihab was referring. It's not just optimizing for a link, for a keyword, it's optimizing for your content. So it enhances your chance to be picked up by the AI systems and applications. That's the level of local content that we are here encouraging you guys to have for each location. The next one I want to talk to you guys is reputation. Reputation is a critical one. Not just volume of reviews, but the details of the reviews. If your customers are adding photos and videos when they leave a review for you, this is something you can encourage. You can encourage them to leave a review about a specific thing that you want to promote, about a specific experience, about a specific meal, about how is the drop-off if you have a pet shop or a daycare or whatever it is that you are providing as a product and service. You can ask the question, encourage them to provide a review with photo, with video. You need to make sure that you respond to reviews in an authentic way. This is another thing that we strongly recommend our customers. A lot of times business respond. First of all, some business don't even have the time to respond. It's a lot of effort. You have to run your business, let alone manage reputation, manage reviews. But how authentically and personalize your response to your reviews matters. The time that you take to respond to reviews, 18 hours is ideal. If you pass that as a week, it takes too long. You're not going to be necessarily picked up by the algorithm to be at the top of search. This example that we have here is too small, but it's a search here, again, a conversational search, where this searcher is asking about a specific restaurant in a specific city, how people are evaluating and reviewing that restaurant. That is the conversational type of question here. And the results of that with AI overview, it brings the reviews that were left in that local business. This is an example where you can see how reviews is going to help me, my visibility and my reputation. So nowadays, you need to care about your content, both on your local website, on your business profile, the type of reviews you get. So hopefully that was a great example. Hopefully this was clear. Critical step on the reputation. Now I want to move to a third one, which is engagement, which was, I think, the second one that you mentioned, you guys answering the poll, that it is about reaching your audience, right? So what does that mean? And that word engagement is very much used for social media. So really thinking about digital presence nowadays is, again, not just my Google business profile, my Apple business case, and make sure that I have my location is all in the listing directories. It's actually integrating your listing profiles with your social networks profiles, with your Instagram account, with your TikTok account. So I'm going to give you guys some examples. The first one here on the left, I simply search pizza near me. And what comes at the top of the search are actually Instagram posts from those local business. So what's happening is that Google is actually incorporating whatever you guys are posting on social. It's taking into consideration when you search. So it's all integrated. Another example here is from KFC, how they're posting on Apple showcases. They're posting very frequently by location with lots of images and videos about what they're doing. Promotions during the week, seasonal promotions, special deals of the week or of the day. They are leveraging traditional marketing tactics that we normally do. We are integrating that into search, into your Apple business case, or if your Apple Business Connect, and your Google business profile. It's all integrated now. You have a promotion, you have a special weekly deal, add it to your Apple Business Connect app, add it to your Google business profile in the form of posting. And then on the third one here, you can see the posts actually from this farmers market in San Diego. They actually leverage engagement, they leverage social quite a lot. They post constantly on the Google business profile about what's happening on the following week, on the next farmers market, special deals. So this is highly integrated, and that's how you can reach more of your audience. That's how you can be picked up on a search. So that is one of my favorites, and I love that you guys chose that one as a challenge, because we have so much to talk about this one. But I will move to the fourth one here, the fourth fundamental, which is conversions. As business, we are doing all of that. We want to optimize search, we want to optimize, increase visibility, drive engagement, all of that at the end of the day to optimize conversions. It's all about the CTA. So here I have an example of a business, a pizza business here. See how they are experimenting with their CTA on their Google posts. They have order, they have learn more. We have another example of a business here, a clothing business. They are also trying to optimize and learn because they are using different type of CTAs. So you can scroll, you can pass, and you can see different types of posts, different types of messages with different types of CTAs. So the message here is make sure that your content is readable in a way, it's synthesized in a way for AI, that AI can pick that up, and make sure that your CTAs are all there, very clear. Play with your CTAs, test, optimize, because as soon as your content is found, you have a CTA to drive to your conversions, which is ultimately what all business want. So that closes the first set of practices under fundamentals. I'm going to move to a second now tip or best practice is actually maximize your ROI, show revenue impact. We work with, again, multi-location business across the world. And one thing we hear from marketers all the time is that they are struggling to get budget approval. They have to do more with less. They are putting all these efforts into their location marketing, business, locations, and they still cannot connect the dots with revenue. Very, very hard and a common struggle for marketers. What we are trying to say here today is if you optimize your visibility, your reputation management with the examples that I gave, your engagement, again, integrating your social profiles with your listings profiles, optimizing conversions, you should naturally see an impact on your revenue. That flows from clicks to conversions to people at your door, visiting your store, being at your store, and shopping there. It's just the natural customer journey today. It's just instead of starting, as Ihab mentioned, just focus on keywords and links, we're now focused on this content, how the content can be more personalized, more tailored, more contextual, more visually engaging to be picked up by AI. And then the natural flow from your search goes into your store and your revenue. So that is it about the revenue impact. When we move to the next slide, I want to give you guys an idea of in a product, if you have a location marketing platform like we do, you're going to see a dashboard with all those metrics. You should be able to be monitoring with metrics. How is my engagement going? How is my visibility? How is my reputation? And this is based on responding to reviews, updating my profile with pictures, the seasonal hours, or optimizing my CTA. You should be able to see all these metrics, and it should tie to revenue to help you secure budget and continue to invest on your digital presence. On the next slide, we have a quote from a customer of ours, Barcello, a very successful customer. It's a hotel chain. You guys can see his quote here. If your SEO has no impact on the company's bottom line, don't call it SEO, right? Like super critical. I'm seeing Ihab nodding to me. Like that is critical. That is the impact on the bottom line that we should expect as location marketing managers, as SEO managers, digital managers, whatever the title is, whatever you're driving around your locations, you should be able to see a significant impact on the bottom line. All right, so we're going to move on now to the third pillar, the third and the last one of my best practice of today. And this is about using AI tools in order to be successful in the AI search era. I told you guys about all of this. You have to update your photos. You have to add videos. You have to respond to reviews. You have to respond to reviews faster. Engage with your audience. But it's too hard to do all of that by your own. With like as humans nowadays in our marketing team, as we get linear teams with smaller budgets, that's why leveraging AI tools as marketers is so critical today. This is how you can actually scale your location marketing efforts. You can craft your social posts, engaging posts in seconds. You can respond to authentic reviews one by one, like that, in seconds. So all of these fundamentals that I walk you guys through, that you may be thinking, oh my God, I'm alone. Now I have to really do all of this. There are tools out there, like leveraging AI, that are AI-powered platforms that can help you with that. So let's see some examples. On the next slide, I'm just giving you guys how this can be possible if you're not using already. So to respond to reviews, starting on the left, you go to a platform, you have your inbox, you receive all your reviews there. And it's one of the challenges is how I'm going to respond to all of those reviews, again, in an authentic and personalized way. Well, with a click of a button, you can count on OpenAI and you can get support from ChatGPT, and you can get a suggested answer there, right there for you, for one review. The second one is doing that in bulk. So you select up to, for example, 40 reviews, and you're going to get a unique, authentic answer for every single one of these 40 reviews. You can always review the review response. It doesn't mean it goes straight, right? You can still approve, you can still modify, you can still manage. I didn't like that suggestion. That's not my tone of voice. So you can always change. But the AI module is constantly learning what is working, what are you approving. So it learns your tone of voice. It learns the sentiment of the review as well, from that the customer left for you. And it's suggesting you more and more better and better reviews for you, responses for you. The third one, our AI social writer actually crafts social posts for you from the scratch. So if you follow a social media day calendar, every day is someone's or something's day. It can be Dog's Day, Donald's Day, Pizza Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and the list goes on. And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to post about it. I don't know what my business has to do with dogs, for example. But how can I connect the dots? I'm a pizza business. How can I come up with something that is relevant to post today when it's Dog Day? Well, you can count with our AI social writer, for example, to connect those dots. It will help you to craft a post from the scratch in seconds, knowing your business, even knowing your social media profiles. It links to what you normally post on social media and can then prepare all of that and suggest something for you. So all of that to say, this effort to be ready for AI driven search, you can count on AI tools to do that. So that is the main message here. And with that, I'm moving on to our key takeaways. We're getting close to the end, and I'm going to hand over to Ihab. Back to him.
Thank you so much, Chris. I've learned a lot, and I even work at this company, so that's awesome. So, by the way, thanks so much for everyone sticking with us still. We had so much to let you know, but now we're summarizing, and then we're going to go into poll and Q&A. So what we learned today, is search even broken, is the big question that we're asking. Well, product discovery is definitely changing, both for consumers and businesses. SEO is getting a bit of a facelift. I like to call it an adaptation. Some say that search might be going through its midlife crisis, though. But after midlife crisis is the golden years. So maybe we'll get the golden years after too. And thirdly, sort of the AI impact on search is in its infancy right now. Think of when it started back on that timeline I showed you earlier. will mature eventually. And I actually eventually see a convergence between SEO and AI or GEO. So hopefully we'll watch this space and maybe I'm right. But then finally, some of the takeaways that we, if we could summarize from what Chris has just mentioned so eloquently, you optimize the fundamentals for your SEO and local. We gave the local example, but of course this applies for your general SEO strategy as well. And I hope you can take some of those skills and transfer them for those of you who are small businesses who may not even be brick and mortar as well. And on that note, let's switch to our final poll.
Sorry, it took me a minute to push all the buttons, but there we go. Okay, so the last poll should have popped up for everybody. And really what the team here is, are you interested in an audit after hearing everything? Uberall offers 10 personalized audits of your online listings. They cover search, reputation, social, local pages. And sometimes it's just nice to have an outside person, an outside vendor take a look at what you're doing to be able to give you, enhanced insights on your online presence. So if it's something you're interested in, give that box a little click. We have about 30% of people saying they're interested in it. So, we'll be giving away some of those. All right. We'll let that run for a minute, but let's get to the Q&A. There are a lot of great questions. So with 6 upvotes, we're going to give Simon first pass here. So Simon's asking, doesn't Google just pull from quality content, most related content for AI overviews? So what is the point of trying to optimize for AIOs instead of just working on creating quality content, which would ideally improve appearances in AIOs?
That's a good question. I think the way I see it is we don't necessarily do one thing or the other. Certainly coming from the local space, the idea is having the richest content as possible everywhere. It's not necessarily just to optimize specifically for AI overviews and create that quality content. Chris mentioned earlier about the authenticity of the efforts that you're making as well. I believe very excited.
Sorry.
Who also agrees. I believe the person I met in the last Brighton SEO is Amanda King, who has a huge effort towards basically going down the route of actually, let's just think of authenticity for the customer journey. Let's not think about the bots. The bots will adapt. We saw that last year with all of the changes with the core algorithm updates. Although funny enough, we've not had one for 2 months. So now I've jinxed it. We're probably going to have 34 just today alone. But you can clearly see that they'll adapt for the authentic human experience. So I would probably go down that route. Make sure it's as rich as possible. These are a templated set of items, but I do think that over that there is that layer of authenticity that you should really follow up with.
I would love to add something there. I love this question because it makes us go back to our content. That's why we position some of the best practices as fundamentals. These are the fundamentals, as I mentioned, that we should be doing as marketers, digital marketers, SEO managers. We should be taking care of our visibility anyway. Responding to reviews, it's critical for your experience, like the customer experience and loyalty. The engagement is going to help you to reach more audiences, get conversions, which is going to help your revenue. And by the way, this helps to be picked up and also be ready for AI overviews or AI search. But these are the fundamentals as a business that you should be looking at. Again, the bottom line is the impact on revenue. Love that one.
Here's one from William. William's asking, how can we adapt our Google business profiles for AI search, even though those aren't in AIOs?
So I'm assuming the Google business profiles aren't in AIOs. Okay, interesting. So there are a couple of examples you probably saw earlier where sometimes it does sneak in. Obviously, things are very, very early. But in terms of adapting your Google business profiles, I think, again, just going back to those foundations that we were talking about earlier, about having the richest content possible, ensuring that you're filling out your photos, your videos, you're replying to reviews, etc. You're updating your opening hours, you're updating everything correct. you match that up and pair that up with your local pages as well. And there needs to be one local page for each Google listing that you have. I'm talking just from Google because obviously you're referring to Google Business Profile. Those are some of the things that I could just pick out of a hat right now. There are so many other things, but ultimately, if you are optimizing in general for Google Business Profile and adhering to sort of the White Spark ranking factors survey, then you're probably going down the right route anyway. And most likely those sort of AI searches, AI overviews are probably going to pick those up once they mature. We're trying to be basically some of the first mover advantages, basically.
I think this one might be similar to Simon's, but let's take a look at it. As search behavior is changing and users are increasingly using AI platforms to place their searches, what are key factors to take into account to optimize our websites to appear on AI results, the GPT results?
Right, okay, interesting. Specifically your website, that's a very, very good question. I think we've covered some of the examples here already. But again, maybe I'm just from a very, very biased school of thought. But, you know, if you're optimizing for authenticity, for the customer journey, doing as much of that as you can, the people will come and the AI tools have recognized that as well. So that's where I come from. One thing I will say is that a lot of people sort of update their articles, for example, let's say in the new year to the most recent date. Personally, I think adding authentic content relevant for 2025 in there, or adding a little piece for 2025 in those articles, and not just refreshing their date stamps, basically. These are the kind of things that I would do. And maybe ask ourselves as well, almost like a personal self-check-in, like, how relevant is this for the sign of the times? Do I even need to archive this specific article, whatever it might be, for a few months, and see how things are? Now, obviously, if they're product pages, etc., slightly different. You just need to tweak your content accordingly. But that's personally how I would do it. I'm being a little bit generalizing here because I'd want to know a little bit more information. So feel free to reach out to us and we can talk about it a bit more. But I hope that answers your question either way.
I would add that like the personalization of the content, snippets of your content on the website really helps to be, again, picked up by AI. And don't forget local pages, which is also part of your website. How can, being a multi-location business, for example, how can you be adding content at a location level, at a local level, right? It's all part of your website. Again, I would take a look at that.
Yeah.
Scott's asking, what can we expect from AI results when it comes to healthcare and issues with inaccuracies there?
Wow.
Great one.
Yes, that's a very big question. I think that's why I was leaning to Perplexity. I was talking about it earlier. I don't want to sort of bang that same drum quite a lot, but when you're demonstrating your sources, it adds a little bit more credibility to the statements that are on the screen. So for me, I could just say I've got a headache or something's going on, or you know, I'm generalizing here quite a lot. But I could give very, very specific symptoms or specific healthcare related questions. It's going to give me a big chunk of text. Generally speaking, they say don't Google your healthcare anyway, but people have got to do that regardless. So an AI would probably take that same pinch of salt. But if I'm seeing the sources there as well, I'm going to go, oh, okay, this one was from the National Health Service or from the Mayo Clinic or some other reputable source. Okay, I can trust this. This makes so much sense. So I'd always sort of lean into that a little bit. But in terms of, you know, there are going to be those who don't do it very well. But again, AI is in its infancy. We're going to see a little bit of change, I think, but let's see.
Question from Abby. I like talking about social search. So she is asking, how does social search play into this? SEO, GEO seem important, but social search seems to be increasing in importance. Is it influencing GEO too?
I think, Chris, you answered that slightly with the Instagram stuff, didn't you? That was demonstrated in normal SERPs, but also in AI, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say that social search gained so much popularity, increased so much in popularity in the past couple of years. Also optimize, do all the fundamentals that we said, optimize your listing profiles on your social media accounts, on your social media channels. And as we were saying, link one with each other, right? As some of the examples that I mentioned, because Google now is really using the content that you have on social media, on your Instagram, on your TikTok, and bringing in into Google. So I think linking this is very important for GEO. Make sure that you have an accurate profile that people can find you, can get, again, photo, videos of your business in any type of channel, because people may be searching on Google, but they may be searching you on Instagram or on TikTok, and it's all integrated.
Yep.
So Sunny asked a question, and Sunny, I saw your comment in chat, so I do want to grab this. Sunny says that your solution, so overall, doesn't appear to be available in the India markets. Is there a plan, and how can they use it?
I think there may not be any concerted efforts in the Indian market, but I've certainly seen profiles in India. We've got global customers who operate in India as well. I don't have the exact number, but it's a pretty large number. So yes, Sunny, reach out to us if you're interested, and we can have a conversation about the Indian markets for sure. But yeah, we definitely have locations operating in India. But it depends on your needs as well. So we'd really love to have that conversation.
Okay. So B2B versus B2C question. Paul is asking, a lot of the examples are related to B2C. Is the issue of Google's changes to SEO more impactful for, the consumer side or the business side better now, or is this issue equally impactful to B2B?
To B2B, yeah. Personal opinion is that I wouldn't say it's exactly equal, but I would definitely say that it matters. I wouldn't want to put a figure on it, but I'd say whatever the customer journey is, whether it's a consumer or a business customer, that's where it's important for you. Obviously, the examples that we're providing are very B2C focused because they're very easy to extrapolate, considering the size of this audience as well. It relates a lot, but that doesn't mean that we're excluding B2B. We've got a lot of B2B customers. I think even in some of our earlier slides, we showed like a law firm and a couple of others who we work with quite heavily, who are strictly B2B. So just please keep that in mind.
Yeah, and my only thing there is, the B2B also goes through a journey. You just need to map it out, right? And just create that content for each stage. It's just a different journey. That's all.
Yeah.
Just want to add a comment there that dog wants to be part of the webinar. I've been hearing more and more often when we talk to customers and even prospects for us that they're like, oh, we have already done our research about the location marketing providers. So they come to us more educated with even more comparison against competitors. So B2B is being leveraged by that as well, right? So if you're selling to another company, you should expect your prospects to be doing a search with ChatGPT or even Google AI overview. I haven't seen AI overview, but definitely ChatGPT, where they're asking these questions. How does this business compare? Why should I do business here with this company?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And I don't know why my headphones are picking up him barking today. Usually it does a really good job of
isolating,
testing that. But yeah, he has things to say today. That's yes. Dexter, in case you don't know him, but he's hanging out back here. All right, let's see. So Wyatt is asking Uberall specific question. Does Uberall sync name, address, and service data with Pret a Manager?
So the answer is yes with NAP data. I need to just confirm what you mean about service data. Are you referring to sort of service area businesses or the service offerings? Because like a cafe or a deli or a restaurant such as Pret a Manger, they don't necessarily have the option for services, usually products or menu items. So I just need to just clarify that before I give you authoritative answer. But again, Wyatt, please reach out to us. More than happy to answer your question, whether it's directly to Uberall or to Chris and I's LinkedIn profiles. Just give us a quick Google and you'll find us.
Scarlett's asking, when you respond to reviews, use images and or videos, or are text-based responses still effective?
So when you're responding to reviews on Google, the only way to do so is via text. If you're trying to get images or videos to surface, they need to come from your customers. Or you can point and say, hey, by the way, there is this photo that we've got on our profile, our main cover photo, whatever it is. Look for our photos and videos. You'll see, X example. But you actually can't post anything other than text anyway. But yeah, still highly recommend you post, you reply within 18 hours. It shows sort of, it's a factor called engagement recency. So not just engagement overall, but engagement recency. So just keep that in mind.
I would, Scarlett, encourage your customers to leave a review for you. And if they can add photos and videos. That is super powerful. On your side, as Yahabi mentioned, text is fine, authentic, within 18 hours. Make sure you have a high reply rate so you respond to as many reviews as possible, and do not neglect the negative reviews. That's the best you can do.
And on the review content, ensure that you are prompting your customers to leave the right keywords in their reviews, because that really, really helps with search. So it's not just how was the experience. That is the typical one I see with QR codes everywhere I go. But let's get a bit creative. What did you order? What did you buy? How long did it take? I wouldn't go so much in terms of who did you speak to, because sometimes Google doesn't really like having identities of people in there. But ask some questions that it's almost like a template that they can follow that then helps them get found. When I'm searching for a dog-friendly cafe, Google are going to give me little snippets under, excuse me, I forget the exact name, but under the actual profiles themselves in the map pack to say, oh, this is dog-friendly and they were lovely, and et cetera, et cetera. So just make sure you're doing that and prompting them as much as possible.
So Deborah has a question. She has a lot of clients. They're local home improvement contractors. I'd love to know how to optimize for these types of businesses. Any advice here?
Depends where they're based out from. So if they're a local home improvement contractor, usually they're based from home. So they qualify as a service area business, which means they can hide their address and not expose their home address. However, there are some businesses that kind of do both, and they are a contractor. So I was speaking to, I think it was in Montreal, a window cleaning contractor. And they have their own office, but they service areas as well. They are called hybrid businesses. If you are, though, please, if you are a hybrid business, mention it on your local pages on your website, because Google, you have a higher risk of getting suspended because Google thinks that you're just filling out the profile a bit wrong. So just make it really, really clear when you do that. So that's the hybrid businesses. And obviously I mentioned the local, the service area business contractors as well. But we can help with that massively. We know a lot of businesses that help with that too. So yeah, reach out to us. Maybe we can help there, Deborah.
Okay, now I've gone back to the chat and I see there's questions about the dog. He's not here. I can't show him to you and I can't upload a picture, but I promise if he was here, I'd get one out. Maybe we'll get something on social today. All right, let's see. Kieran is asking, AR is asking, in the coming years, do you expect the local 3 map pack to change to probably 2 or even 1, or how does one prepare for this?
I have seen examples over the years, in the last 5 years or so, where we have 1 or 2 examples. Personally, I see it sometimes as a bit of a bug. I have seen instances whereby maybe the search radius of that particular business is quite small. I've actually also seen the opposite, where it's 4 or 5. And I'm not talking about, oh, you've got 3 and then you've got the paid one above. Sometimes I've seen that as well. Google do make a lot of experiments. I would probably keep an eye on Mike Blumenthal's posts and Barry Schwartz's posts as well, whether it's on Blue Sky or LinkedIn or wherever. They are super, super useful. They're super informative in terms of all of the changes that are going on, and if there is a change in 3 pack. But ultimately, personally, I'm always trying to aim to get to number 1, unless it's a really, really competitive environment. So always keep that in mind.
There's so many questions. I didn't even realize we were at time, but we are, because I'm just here scrolling. We have 60 some questions in here. Whoa. And I'm pretty sure that we haven't even gotten to 10, 11 of them. So with that, we're going to close this out, and we're going to, save these questions. We'll send them over to the Uberall team. If they needed more information from you, please get to that. But let me ask, before we let you all leave, Ehab, Chris, tell the people where to find you.
Ladies first.
For me, you guys can reach out on LinkedIn. Another option is my Uberall email. So it's Chris, no H, CRIS .Tommy, my last name, THOME @uberall.com. So either my Uberall email or my LinkedIn profile, you find me. We are very social. We are very into social. So if you follow our Uberall channel, you're going to see how much we interact, how much content we share. So definitely follow us along. Ehab and I constantly speak on behalf of the company. So yeah, reach out.
Yeah, definitely. I am also on LinkedIn. I'm on Blue Sky as well. I generally tend to post on Blue Sky a little bit more personal stuff as well as the professional stuff, but it's always good to reach out to sort of the SEO community there. I try not to interact with the other socials because I get a little bit too addicted to them and sort of forget my own life. But yeah, like Chris mentioned, we're all over the place anyway in terms of Uberall specifically. But LinkedIn is probably where I'm posting the most relevant stuff. I don't know if I mentioned before, I'm a Google Business Profile product expert, so I'm probably updating a lot of Google stuff as well there too. So keep an eye. I'm seeing a lot of posts about thank you, etc. No, thank you for sticking with us for over an hour now. Really, really appreciate it.
Come on.
And thank you, Dexter. I want to see Dexter next time. I'm going to tune into the next webinar so that I could see Dexter for
That's
sure.
the dog. Oh my
you
gosh.
stunner.
Oh, so cute.
He's a handsome guy. This is Handsome Dexter. That is his name.
Oh,
But with
amazing.
that, yeah, Chris, thank you so much for sharing all of the information. Thank you everybody for, putting up with my dog. I love it. I love it. I love all dog fans, gotta love them. And with that, let everybody go. We will see you for the next SEJ webinar. Chris, yeah, thank you so much again.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.